We are in Bradenton, JOMBOY, Trevor Plouffe, myself, and our guest today is Jameson Taillon. Am I saying that right?
That was really nice.
That was good?
Yeah.
We all worked on it.
Practicing all day.
Yeah, well, I've had like pitching coaches and stuff for years that still can't say my name, so that was pretty cool right
I
there.
appreciate that.
We actually went phonetically. We're like Taillon.
Yeah, it's like a tie and you own it. A little French.
Oh, okay.
Are you French?
My
I'm also
dad's French. Yeah, French-Canadian.
Oh,
Yeah,
French people are the best.
Look at this little French baseball podcast.
We're lovers. We're lovers.
Oh, you want to dive into that
love
first,
language.
Trevor? How is it? Do most guys call you JMO normally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been a name that's been with me since I was like 3 years old. So my sister thought my name was too formal and threw JMO on me, and it stuck.
There you go.
I like that.
We might stay there just to be safe.
Yeah.
Because
Taillon, we got it.
Yeah, we're all over it. We're all over it. How's spring going, man?
It's good. It's a little different. Like, I'm hurt. I'm going through my second TJ, but I have kind of a cool point of view on everything. Like, we've got a new regime in place, and like I just have a little extra time on my hands, so I'm going around. I get to interact with everybody a little bit more. And I'm working with our new pitching coach a lot. I'm kind of remapping my mechanics a little bit, so I'm happy I've got some new guys on board.
We were checking your stats out, and you're at a little over 3 years service time now, and you're already up to 8 WAR. I mean, you've had a great career, and obviously it's all about staying healthy. But how is the second TJ? You mentioned that. How is that different from the first one? As far as rehab and stuff, you know how to handle it, right?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. I think for my first one, I was 22 years old. Yeah, I've always been like decently mature for my age, but like I feel like I'm in a different place in my life now. Like being in the big leagues versus the minor leagues, having some experience under my belt, having a rehab under my belt, more disciplined, more patient. I felt like with my first one, I was always judging it every day. Like, how do I feel? Am I sore? Like, shit, I'm having a shitty day because I'm sore. Yeah. Well, now it's just like I've kind of removed myself. I put my work in at the field, and when I go home, I just go home, enjoy myself, and kind of remove myself from it.
Yeah, you always, whenever you have an injury, it's like you want it to be best case scenario. So they give you 4 to 6 weeks. You're like, I'm gonna go 3.5 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
But as you probably know, now it's just not fun. It's not good to rush these things. So you got to take your time with it, and then you got to mentally battle yourself because you're a competitor. You want to be back out there as fast as you can, and really you're going to hear guys all the time. I mean, I did when I played, I did oblique stuff. Make sure you take care of your oblique. Make sure it's good before you come back because it's going to happen again. And, obviously I didn't listen. Come back quick, happened again. It's just one of those things. You really got to take your time. So I think the second time around you probably understand that a little better.
Yeah. So, I mean, based off the time when I got it, like I'm missing this year realistically, but I keep telling myself in my head, like, man, I want something to really work towards. So I keep messing with the trainers and telling them, like, I'll be pitching on a big league mound in September. And they're like, maybe for a live BP. Like, you can face it, but you're not actually pitching in September. So we'll see.
When you had the first surgery, does it change when you come back and then you can start throwing again and then you start getting confident in your arm again? Does your pitch mix change at all, or are the pitches the exact same before surgery, after surgery?
So after my first one, my mechanics got a lot cleaner, I thought at least, and now I'm like totally remapping those and doing different things. But I started throwing a sinker after my surgery more. Like I felt like I was more on time with my mechanics, so I could get on top of the ball and throw a better sinker. But with the second one, my elbow had been bothering me a little bit my first couple of starts last year. So, like, my pitch mix changed because my curveball hurt. My curveball is one of my best pitches. So, I'd say, like, before the surgery, it changes more than after, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Crazy.
Well, let's get away from the injury stuff. Get healthy, big fella. I don't want to hear Trevor talk about his home run he hit with a broken rib because I've already heard that.
I already told that story. That's a great one.
I've heard that.
You guys want to?
No. You mentioned, and we got the vibe. We walked around the clubhouse a little bit that Shelty, the new manager, Derek Shelton, he's been good vibes and he's kind of a player's dude. And you mentioned, you get your work done, you get out of there. What's Jameson Taillon do when you're out of there? What are you getting into, man?
Oh, man. Well, I love golfing, but I can't right now. So I like to cook a lot. Tapping into my French connection there.
There it is.
I'm a big bourbon drinker, not responsibly, but I have a pretty nice collection.
Nice.
And then I'm a huge coffee guy. So
You're a beverage guy. I'm also
Yeah,
a beverage
yeah.
guy. I'm a beer guy. So bourbon I love, but I don't like how I am when I drink bourbon.
okay. That's fair.
That's
fair.
true.
Oh,
So what's your go? What's your
Or
favorite?
what's your top shelf?
Well, I used to be a beer guy, and then I got fat during my first rehab, and I stopped. You're looking great.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank
So
you.
that switched
Oh.
me to bourbon neat. Man, I don't know. I drink. I drink a little bit of everything. Last night I had a glass of Eagle Rare.
I love Eagle Rare, and
Eagle
my
Rare's really
buddy
good.
who is into bourbon told me that's like child's play.
It's
I
well,
like
it's because it's like a $35 bottle.
Yeah.
But
That's good.
I have a Blanton straight from the barrel right now,
I like
which means
that.
it's like uncut, unfiltered. It's like 136 proof.
Ooh.
But no, I like to have like a big variety, so when people come over, they can have some fun and,
Cool.
and pick some cool stuff
Yeah.
out.
Nice.
How'd you land on bourbon? Did you like try some scotches and stuff, or did you?
Scotch sucks. Yeah, it's too peaty. That's a
I
good
agree.
question because I don't really know. But recently I've been finding myself like I'll go to a wedding or I'll go out to a bar or something and I like don't know what to drink anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I have a cool collection at home, so I'll just drink at home.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of evolved from there. I got into it that way, I guess.
You're not a big fan of the Canadian whiskeys?
Oh man, I don't want to offend
Don't
anybody,
get
but
Oh, boy.
I'll dabble with some Crown, I guess. That's Canadian,
Here we
right?
go.
Is it? It is.
Please,
Thanks.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
syrup.
well, please
Yeah.
the snowbirds a little bit. What's going on cooking wise? Because my man's here.
You got me. You got
You're
whiskey and
cooking?
cooking, so I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm an Irish whiskey guy, though.
I just got a sous vide
Nice.
for Christmas.
Okay.
So I haven't really messed around too much with that, but I use my cast iron a lot. Make a mean beef tenderloin.
Ooh, very
roast
nice.
some really good broccoli.
Do you fillet it or you just cook it whole?
I like to cook it whole.
Nice.
Like if I'm having some friends over, that's my go-to.
It's a show move.
Yeah.
To show 'em
Get you a
move.
nice char on it.
Yeah.
Use the meat thermometer, get you to a perfect temp.
Are you reverse sear or are you straight regular?
I'm a reverse
Me
sear
too.
guy.
I'm a cast
Yeah.
iron guy through and through. I'm all about
Damn.
that. Yeah. So you can do really good.
Got any
reverse
input
sear
on
there.
those cooking stuff?
I suck, man. My regulars. I'm gonna make a nice make your own Chipotle dish. I got
Okay.
that going on. A little turkey
We just had
meat,
that for lunch in
healthy.
there right now.
See?
I don't mind that.
Okay. I mean, it's not you posting your Instagram videos and shit, but I eat
Are
it.
you like a neat plater, or is just like I cook and it's good, or do you like really get into the refinement aspect of
Nah, I'm not a neat plater.
it? Okay.
My
No
girlfriend.
presentation.
My girlfriend will do if like we do distance right now. But if she's with me, she does the plating. I do the cooking.
Perfect.
wow.
Some
Yeah.
garnishes.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then it all goes away.
More of a meat and
immediately.
potatoes guy though. Like it's gonna
Can't
taste
beat
good.
It.
Amen.
Can't beat it. Yeah.
Who?
You got any- Go ahead.
You got it.
I was staying on food. What's the
Okay.
go-to spot in Pittsburgh?
Oh
Ooh.
boy,
Whoa.
Pittsburgh's like
Ooh.
one of the sneakiest food cities that you would
Yeah.
never know
I've
about.
been to some good places there.
Okay, Butcher and the Rye downtown because
I've
that
been
taps
there.
into my bourbon connection
Uh-huh.
there. And then I've gotten really in. So I live kind of close to a place called Shady Side, and there's a restaurant there called Acorn. I describe it like a neighborhood cafe, but it's a little fancier. They're switching seasonally based on what's fresh.
Okay.
That's my vibe. So like really good roasted duck, stuff like that.
Oh man, I'm a big duck
You
fan.
have a teammate that's got the same palate as you? You know,
Eating buddy.
Yeah, who's
Yeah.
exactly. Who's your eating buddy?
We've actually got we've got some foodies on our team. Like a
Ooh.
lot of guys like some good show dinners. Josh Bell's a big foodie. Joe Musgrove's a big food guy.
That is one of the best things you can do on the road, team
Yep.
bonding, show dinner.
show dinners.
Where are
yeah.
we going? And usually old school guys would do the steakhouses, do
Capital
all of
Grill or
that.
whatever,
But you
yeah.
know, as social media and
Sure.
Yelp has come along, whatever, you can find out these little gems like he's talking about, and that's when you know you're locked in.
Yeah, we've got Chicago is one of my favorite food
Oh, yeah.
cities.
Where'd
and
you
then
go?
We always play day games there, so you have night to go get dinner.
Girl and the goat.
Girl and the Goat,
Yeah.
been there a couple times. Boca.
Yep.
I've been to Royster, a couple of awesome places.
Have you done Alinea
I
yet?
haven't. Josh Bell
Yeah.
went there last year, said it was a
I
cool
want to try
experience.
that out. Yeah, it's awesome. That's a really Instagrammable place.
Nice.
It's like art.
It's your speed then.
I saw that
Yeah.
chef
Yeah.
on Chef's Table, so
Yeah.
I need to check it off.
Grant's at Chez or something like that. Yeah, shout out.
bring it back to baseball a little bit.
Little
Last year, were you with the team during the brawl with the Reds, or were you watching from afar?
Which one?
Yeah,
the big one.
Yeah, no, I
Second
was.
one?
I don't have a date on that brawl, but that was right around my surgery date, so I was not there. But yeah, that was an interesting one because we really do have a lot of we got some sweethearts on this team. A lot of really nice guys, but I don't know, it brings out a different side of people.
Speaking of the dudes on this team, the pitchers, I know Trevor's been big on Archer. I think you guys were on Tampa together.
Yeah, we played in Tampa together. Yeah.
And he's just he thinks Archer's gonna
I've bounced back here for him.
Get back to it this year. Who else? Who else do we need to know? I mean, on the team or maybe even coming up the ranks because we saw who's it? The baby Thor dude. Or
baby Thor, then Ponce.
Yeah.
Ponce, yeah.
2 big boys.
Walk us through it.
I'm telling you right now, I can confidently say we're going to have some tough competition for comeback player of the year this year. Nick Birdie in there who went down with that tough injury. Dude, he's worked his tail off. He's like throwing freaking 97 in his bullpens, and it's coming efficiently and easy.
Former twin?
Yeah. Archer looks great. Archer's been really fun to get to know because he's an interesting dude. He's super committed to his craft, so I've had fun. He's a big foodie also. He'll treat to some show dinners.
But he doesn't eat. He's too skinny.
He's
telling him he got to go.
No, he'll throw it down when but it's all like plant-based. But no, I think Archer's going to have a good year. We had Chad Kuhl who had TJ last year and missed the year. He looks really, really good. I know I might be a little biased.
No. That's what we're looking for.
I like it.
Better be.
I joke with these dudes. I'm like, hey, man, like, you guys are going to be fighting for that comeback player of the year.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like Archer. I have a reason. I don't just throw that out there because I know him. But he worked out with Flaherty in the offseason. Yeah. I got to see all, they're blasting their workouts on social media, so I was following along. And when you work out with a guy like Jack, who's like that, that's the offseason, he owns the offseason.
Yeah.
And he turned that in last year, obviously, to a great second half. And he's like my guy. But I think Archer helping him mentally and then Jack maybe helping him doing some stuff physically and like kind of like getting him, getting him going this year. I think it's just a good recipe for him to have a bounce back year. Because he's always has nasty stuff. I mean, I faced him, I don't know, like 9 at-bats against him. And, like, I always tell people, like, this guy has stuff that he should be, like, in the Cy Young talk every year. I think for him, at least when I've played with him and seen him, it's about location. Like, is he locating and is he going to stay healthy? But, man, like, he's one of those guys I always would say that. Like, this guy has some of the best stuff in the big leagues. When he's on, it's like he's got it. It's tough.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And now we did get some fun facts. Who was the dude we were talking to? Is he the TV announcer?
Robbie Instamkowski.
Field reporter.
Yep.
He said the Taillons are a pretty talented family. He says you got three siblings?
Yeah, so I have three siblings. Robbie's had some fun nights with them, I think, at the bars here in Bradenton.
I'm sure Robbie has.
It lines up where, like, my family comes for a spring training trip. My brother that's a doctor lives down in Fort Myers, just down the road here.
Oh, okay.
So
we were there yesterday.
they've interacted a little bit. Yeah, so my oldest brother is a professor up in Seattle. Next in line would be my brother, who's a pulmonology critical care doctor in Fort Myers. My sister is a lawyer, married to a lawyer. And then there's me, the youngest, who has a high school degree and throw a baseball hard.
Jock.
You throw the pill, man.
Yeah.
If you weren't throwing it, would you have followed one of those 3 career paths?
I don't know about like going through that much school, but I was always really interested in physical therapy, which is funny because now I've got an injury history.
Yeah.
But
You're living it.
yeah, I mean, I love all sports. Like, I'm a huge sports fan across the board, and I would want to be involved somehow with that. So I always thought physical therapy would have been my way.
Give me more sports. I'm a sports freak. I was getting ripped the other day because like I skipped like Nickelodeon and stuff as a kid and Disney. Like I was ESPN and that's it. What's your sports game like? Who are your teams?
All right. I grew up in Houston, so I follow the Rockets and Texans really closely.
Okay.
I'm not a huge hockey guy, actually, but I follow the Penguins and Lightning a good amount.
Okay.
I've gotten to go to some cool Stanley Cup games.
That's pretty cool.
I'm a huge golf guy, so I do, like, FanDuel every week for golf. I'm in pick'em leagues for golf. I know players on the PGA Tour that, like, I shouldn't know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I started doing the one and done. Do you do
That's
that?
That's what I do. You
Dude,
pick one golfer, and once you use him, he's gone.
If you have any interest in golf, I think you should do it because it's the easiest thing to do. You on Wednesday, like Google the tournament.
Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday, by the way. Got to make your picks.
Yep.
What's coming up this week? Did you make your picks yet?
I haven't made my picks. I cheat. I Google like power rankings for the upcoming
You
week.
gotta
I
find
do.
I don't know if that's called cheating. That's
It's
research.
research.
Yeah.
I just look at the top 15 list and I look at like who I think in the top 15 is my pick to click. Who might be who might be a guy that I could use in this tournament who might not play well down the road. And maybe get him.
Do you have any big
way.
winners recently?
No, I suck.
Dude, it's brutal because you can only use the guys once. So you don't want to
Yeah.
burn out the big dudes early in the season. So I was having a terrible start. I went Rom last week, big bounce back.
Ooh,
Felt
yeah.
good. Felt good.
Good job.
It's fun, man.
You're just opening up to us. I had no idea you were all about this.
Bro, sports is all I have.
Okay.
And as you've seen by my height and stature, the playing stopped.
It did.
So I had to
did.
get into some other stuff. So check it out, man.
You picked
like
the
it.
perfect hobby to have as a starting pitcher. I mean, golf and starting pitching
Yeah.
go hand in hand.
Dude.
So you go on the road, you bring your clubs.
Yep.
Give me some of the courses you played. So what's some of your
Ooh.
favorites? Because
Oh,
they're all over the
love
place.
that question.
You played Hazeltine?
I haven't, but that's on, I'd like to.
It's on the
I
list.
played. It's hard. It's long.
Man, we've played Erin Hills outside of Milwaukee on an off day. We actually don't have all that many golfers.
Yeah.
So it's got to be an off day because, like, Frazier plays golf. Like, we have a position
Yeah.
player group that plays golf. But Erin Hills, I played Oakmont. I've played Laurel
Mhm.
Valley outside of Pittsburgh. I've played Torrey Pines, River Oaks in Houston, Blue Jack outside of Houston, one of Tigers' courses. Dallas National last year. I'm checking off some good top 100
What's
courses.
the handicap?
Yeah.
That's a rude
Give it
question.
to me. It's not
13,
rude.
13
No.
to 15
He
probably.
can hit shots.
Yeah.
I can-
Okay.
Are you a competitive? Like, are you competitive? Are you having a couple drinks?
Are you losing
Does
your
it depend?
cool?
Does it depend how the round's going?
I'm always going to have a couple drinks
Okay.
based on
Stay
the day.
loose. Gotta stay loose.
I'm more of like an after the round guy though. Like the 19th hole. That's what
Yeah.
I play for.
Best round.
Oh.
Oof. You know what? The best like ball striking round I had was actually probably Dallas National last year.
Okay.
The course was so hard I still shot like an 88.
But you felt good about it.
I
The
used
putting
like
and stuff
yeah,
was bad.
I used like two balls. I wasn't spraying the ball
There you
or
go.
off
That's
the
nice.
tee. So
I like that. I think we're kind of on the same level.
That's
Yeah.
a good way to measure.
Because I'm worse than that. I'm not a 13. I'm probably worse than that. But I get so frustrated with it, man.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
You gotta let that down, kinda.
I know, I do, but I can't. I get mad, and then after 9, I'm like, dude, I need to get out of here.
Who's the guy? Well, Josh Bell stands out, especially what he did last year. But who's maybe matchup wise, personally for you? Like, who's a dude on your team that you wouldn't want to see on the batter's box?
so easy. Adam Frazier.
Yeah?
Every
Yeah.
time. We did so last year. We tried something out where we were doing more like backfield sim games, and I didn't make an outing until like my 4 or 5 inning outing, and I faced like Moran, Newman. I'll face Josh. Like I've faced Josh. He's has the threat of taking you deep. He works great at bats. He has a really good eye. There's something about Frazier that's just like demoralizing. 'Cause he just he sprays line drives
Yeah.
right past your face all day. Like I'll throw a really good cutter to other guys or like a hard back foot slider and they're all swinging over it or like giving me feedback like that was nasty, and Frazier will be like, dude, I saw that out of the hand. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like he's
Thanks,
just so
dude.
like
There-
he's so calm and balanced, and he just has such good hands. He rakes me.
Yeah.
There's always those guys. I mean, it works both ways. There are some guys, as a hitter, everybody else rakes them, and then you get in the box, and you're like, I don't know what is going on.
Yeah.
For me, that was tall pitcher. He was the Rockies for a long time. He's with the Indians. We can look it up because I got no hits off him.
Okay.
I forget his name.
Good.
right
Easy
now.
way to search that.
Sorry, but
You got no hits?
Yeah, and I'm blanking on his name. He's a prominent pitcher. He was like a Cy Young guy one year. Not a
Ubaldo?
winner. Yes.
You balled though.
Jimenez?
Can't hit him. And we would score 12 runs against him, and I'd be 0 for 4, 4Ks, whatever. And then other guys, like guys that just deal. So like you're dealing against these other guys.
Yep.
There'll be a guy that just
Got
gonna
ya.
see you well. And it's a weird thing about baseball, man. Like Corey Kluber was my guy, who he could no hit the rest of the team. I'm gonna get my hits against him. I had no idea how. I didn't like facing him,
But it worked out.
Who
but I'll
was-
get hits.
Who was the dude on the Yankees that used to always get Pedro? He was like on the team to hit against Pedro Martinez.
Enrique Wilson?
Enrique Wilson.
It's how it goes, man.
It's funny, man.
They honestly picked him up halfway through a year at one point just for the Boston series.
Who's like a really good hitter, like league wide, that you kind of
got.
match up really well against?
I'll give you my one guy that rakes me randomly,
Okay.
Jose Peraza, who was on the Reds.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So that dude, a lot of
He
them,
sees it.
he used to just fillet balls, 0-2. He'd just kind of exit velo of 50 right over the infield, and then he started going deep on me. He started hitting
Which
hitting
one felt
doubles.
worse?
I don't know. They all felt terrible. Everything, getting hit sucks. But then Joey Votto on their team, not to say I dominate him by any means, but he's one of the greatest hitters of our generation. and let's just say he's a 240 hitter against me, and then
There you
Jose
go.
Peraza's like 12 for 15 with 3 homers.
Funny, man.
It's a
This game-
stupid sport.
It'll drive
Yeah.
you crazy.
It's a stupid
It
sport.
makes no sense.
It's the best.
Guy I do decent against, I don't know. Like I'd have to look it up, but like maybe Matt Carpenter. I'm not
Another
sure.
good
but,
one.
but he goes like 3-2 on me every time, so it's
Yeah.
not like it's like
It's working, yeah.
yeah, he's a tough AB.
You had a crazy streak last year, or 2017 or 18 into 19, was it? 22 quality starts in a row. I know quality starts are kind of a weird stat.
That's a great stat.
It's some people like it, some
I
people
like
hate
it.
it. Yeah. Well, how do you feel about that? How'd you feel in the middle of that stretch? Were you like, were
Yeah.
you cognizant of that?
I wasn't actually aware of it until I watched like a highlight of a game in September. But it got completely overshadowed by Jacob deGrom that year because I think, had three earned runs or less every start the whole year
Yeah,
of
yeah,
2018.
Yeah, and he
That's
went
insane.
nuts.
So
He
rightfully
went
so,
nuts.
it got overshadowed.
A shortstop that learned to pitch.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But yeah, I mean, it felt good. Like as a starting pitcher, when you're getting on a roll and you're taking the ball every 5th day, and like you just start to get that confidence where it's like, it's not I hope I do well tonight. It's like I know I'm gonna do well. I just hope I don't make that one mistake in a game that can change it. But it's like I know I'm going into the 6th, 7th inning. That's a pretty cool feeling.
Nice. One question we like to ask everybody is about your call up. So we know it's June 8th, 2016 was your debut against Syndergaard, right?
Yeah.
What was the
It's a fun one.
were you in AAA?
I was in AAA. I played for Indy. We were in Columbus. It wasn't any like.
Did you know what was happening? Did someone get hurt? Like what was the
So I know we had like a double header. My start wasn't a double header, but the day before was a double header, and they were going to need an arm for that next day. So I was just in my hotel room watching Netflix at midnight. Got the call. Yeah, like I mean, I did really well in AAA that year, and to be honest, not in like an arrogant way, I thought I was ready.
Yeah.
Like ready to help. Our team was, competing. We were, I think, in 1st or 2nd when I got called up that year. So I was kind of itching to get called up, and I had a few like fake. Or I thought I was going in the office to get called up, and then I'd get blown up about something.
Something you did wrong.
Yeah, it's like you need to pitch inside more or whatever, and I'm like walking out like with my head down, like shit. I thought I was getting called
I
up.
thought this was it.
Yeah.
That's
Any
funny.
like so the manager called you, or was the traveling secretary or
Manager called me. Just got picked up in the morning. It was driving distance to Pittsburgh, so we just drove into
perfect.
Pittsburgh the next day. Basic, boring debut, 6 innings with 3 runs.
we saw you
Hey.
get on the mound, first pitch. Jelly legs or how are
Ooh.
you feeling?
Stomach dropping?
Yeah. So
Did the warm-ups go well? Warm-up pitches go well?
I don't remember.
No, I always look at that. Like when
Running
guys
hot.
are debuting, it's like, what are their warm-up
Yeah.
pitches doing?
I don't remember. You know what? I remember the most about my debut is getting a bunt down off Syndergaard.
Ooh, that's
Oh.
special. That is good. That's good.
I was in
That's
there like
props.
he's got the long hair. The Mets unis are like real clean. The lights are bright. I was in there like hearing the ball coming. I remember that. But
Sonar.
I remember in the first inning of my debut, like I usually work at like 93, 95, 96, and I was like 96, 97.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if this is good.
You got that adrenaline bump,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah.
Yep.
That's all. And did you stay up? Did you stay up for a while that year, or was that a spot start?
So I went down after that game, and then I got called up for my next start in New York against DeGrom.
Oh my.
And then I was up for good.
Damn.
Yeah, welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah.
DeGrom.
Same lineup twice, though, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
See the same guys.
Yeah, I did better the second time, but yeah, I went down, and I think Garrett might have had like a blister issue or something that game. I don't know what it was, but that's what got me in, and then I stayed.
Nice.
You still talk to Garrett?
I do, yeah,
He-
pretty frequently.
He got that bag pretty well.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
all right this offseason.
He's not struggling.
He's one of my like closest baseball friends, but man, I love watching him pitch, man.
I do too.
He's like one of the guys that's just truly good for baseball. Like watching him do his thing is just it's art.
It's a
fun.
highlight, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, everything's
It's must
impressive.
watch. It's like one of the few guys for me where like I'll stop in my tracks and I'm like, I gotta tune in.
He's we're Yankees fans, and all spring training, like his first 3 days there, all the beat reporters posting was Cole talking to other guys, and it was like anyone that came within this distance, he was just like mapping out his strategy on the ground. They call him the philosopher. Is that how he is? Is he
Yeah.
putting on a show for the Yankees the first couple days, or is he
No,
honestly
no.
just deep baseball all the time?
He's deep baseball. I mean, he's like one of the most interesting, most cultured, like well-rounded
Right.
humans. Like he's a super
like
interesting
that.
guy. Talk about like cooking and wine. He's super interesting to talk to, but like I'll send him video of me throwing, and I'll get feedback from other guys about something, and he just sees the game in like a little bit of a different lens. Like he's just breaking things down a little differently. He's a super thinker. So like I can tell you if I were a GM or an owner and I'm investing in somebody, like that's my dude, because he makes people around him better, and he's truly committed to his craft to an extent that you just don't really see.
He also is filthy. So that helps out
yeah.
too. Like he's got all that stuff, which is great. And then he also just will blow your doors off.
Yeah, I've got some of that, but then I'm coming in at 62 on the gun.
Yeah.
And that's
he's 100.
I got 0 A. I don't know how I got 0 ABs against him, and I'm it's probably a good thing for me. Yeah, my stats would have been just a little worse.
Congrats.
Down. Well, damn. I don't know. You got anything for us?
No.
He's like, no.
I'm good. No, I'm good. I
What else
love talking shop.
What else should the people know about Jameson Taillon? I know that's a heavy question, man.
Can I plug something?
Yeah,
Can I
dude,
plug you guys?
absolutely.
So you asked about hobbies. It kind of came to me. So I'm so into coffee that I've been trying to do a coffee blog for a while. Like I just thought. So I'm such a coffee guy. I'd go to like coffee shops in Pittsburgh, and they'd ask me like, "Hey, where'd you go while you were on this last road trip? Did you hit this shop and that shop?" And I was like, man, I should start documenting this, because I go out of my way on the road to go to, even if it's a 15-minute Uber ride, I go to the coolest coffee shop in that city. So I'm going to start a little coffee blog called Pro Brew, and I'm going to try to sit down with players on other teams and have them kind of take me to their favorite coffee shops. And I'm going to see about how coffee fits into their routine and their life, and how they got into it and stuff.
It's perfect. Need more of that.
We learned about the coffee belt. We were at Starbucks the other day. You probably don't frequent Starbucks.
Starbucks
maybe the Reserve.
Yeah.
You got that.
Nice, Trevor. Nice, Trevor. That's show.
But we learned about the coffee belt. So where is your favorite coffee? Where does it come from?
Central South America, Colombia, Costa Rica, Guatemala. That's kind of my profile.
Is that a post-baseball thing? You get done, nice long career, successful career.
15 years from now.
Little coffee.
You go Nolan Ryan style.
Find some beans and maybe make a...
Do you buy your own beans?
I don't know about like all the roasting business. Like that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking it would be fun to have like a little, kind of like you guys are doing, just have like an RV or like a food truck, and then just locally go to like the youth baseball fields, post up, and like kids are playing 3 games a day, and the parents
People
are
need
grinding.
coffee.
Yeah.
Parents need coffee.
Maybe have some breakfast tacos to sling around,
Coffee
and some
and
pour-overs.
breakfast tacos.
My girlfriend's dad buys coffee beans from Ecuador, and then he has to lay them on the counter because there's rocks that are like in it because they just scoop them.
Wow.
And he has to pick
Getting
out
real
all the pebbles. He makes like real coffee. I don't like it, but I like diner coffee, just real shitty coffee.
Yeah, I used to try to change people that would say that. I'd be like, let me change
Let
you.
me convert you.
Like we had coaches that would I'd offer, like I make pour-overs in the clubhouse before the game, and I'll offer like some of our coaches, and they're just like, no, I'm good with I just want Folgers. Like, I don't want that stuff.
I don't mind Folgers either. I'm a beverage snob.
Plug.
Yeah, I'm a beverage snob, so like I want my coffee to taste good, and then like so I'll try to find some different beans and whatever. And then I'll go to like my grandparents' house, and they'll just have the old scoop Folgers. I'm like, this is delicious. Yeah, like what's going on?
You're not gonna not drink it.
Yeah.
Are you 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, or what's?
I for being such a big coffee guy, I actually don't like drink as much as people would think. I'm probably 1 pour over in the morning for my ride. I'm living in St. Pete, so I got like a 30-minute drive down here, and then probably a cold brew in the afternoon, and that's a wrap.
You're starting to see we find little avenues. Half-hour drive here.
Yeah.
Doing your coffee. You got something on the radio? What's going on?
I've just started getting into podcasts.
Yeah, me too.
So lately I've been on the Theo Vaughn podcast.
He's hilarious.
He's funny.
I used to so I followed him on Instagram. Guys on our team love him, and I was like, he's funny. Like I like his little clips, and I started listening to the podcast. I was like, this dude's real, man. He's got some good stuff to say, and he's funny. So he's been accompanying me on my drive every day.
That's
There
cool.
you
Nice.
go. That's
like
what it's
that.
all about, man.
Cool.
All right. Well, what's Pro Coffee?
Pro
Brew.
Brew. Come on,
Yeah.
Pro Brew.
You can find the
Pro
link
Brew.
in my Instagram. I'm
Man,
not as
IG,
active as I'd like to be. But
Plug the
I'm gonna
IG.
be. Taillon 19, maybe.
There we go.
Maybe. Search around.
Maybe. Yeah.
Search around.
You'll find it.
I think it has
He's got a
check
blue
mark.
check
Yeah,
mark.
I
You're
don't know.
You got
bad.
the checky.
Humble brag.
Check.